Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. Today, we're examining a critical issue, the growing divide between how AI experts and the public perceive artificial intelligence.
Our analysis today is based on an article from TechCrunch written by Sarah Perez on April 13, 2026. Her piece, titled Stanford Report Highlights Growing Disconnect Between AI Insiders and Everyone Else, really unpacks the latest annual AI industry report from Stanford University, and the findings are quite revealing. So what's the headline here? Well, the core finding from the Stanford report is this. There's a significant and frankly widening gap between the people who create AI and the general population. They are just not seeing this technology in the same way. And this isn't just a random difference of opinion. This gap seems to be rooted in fundamentally different sets of anxieties about what AI means for our future. It's almost as if two different conversations are happening at the same time. On one hand, you have the industry insiders. Their focus is often on the big existential questions, like the potential rise of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a theoretical superintelligence. But the public, well, their concerns are much more immediate, and you could say grounded in everyday life. We're talking about things like job security, wages, and even the rising cost of electricity, thanks to all those new data centers. And you see this sentiment reflected in public discourse. David Zolln makes a great point here. He notes that it seems a little strange for the tech industry to be surprised by public skepticism when some of their own leaders are issuing some pretty stark warnings about the technology's potential downsides. Dr. Caroline Orbuino really hits the nail on the head. She emphasizes that for most people, the fear isn't some far-off science fiction scenario. The concern is economic. It's about the here and now, their paycheck and their bills. So, let's put some numbers to this. How wide is this perception gap really? The report cites some data from Pew Research that helps us quantify this disconnect pretty clearly. And the numbers are, well, they're stark. Only 10% of Americans say they are more excited than concerned about AI's growing role in daily life. Just 1 in 10. That signals a really broad sense of apprehension right from the start. Now when we drill down into specific areas, the divide becomes even more apparent. Look at medical care. A huge majority of AI experts, 84%, see a positive impact. But for the US public, that number is only 44%. That is a 40-point gap in optimism. The gap gets even wider when we talk about jobs. 73% of experts are positive about AI's impact on employment. But the public, just 23% share that view. That is a massive 50-point difference. It really highlights where the core anxiety lies. And here, looking at the broader economy, the story is much the same. Nearly 70% of experts are optimistic, compared to only 21% of the public. This suggests a deep-seated skepticism about who is actually going to benefit from all this AI-driven economic change. This disconnect in perception naturally bleeds over into the topic of regulation. And what the data reveals here is a profound crisis of trust in the institutions that are supposed to be overseeing this technology. According to data from Ipsos, public trust in the US government to regulate AI is remarkably low, just 31%. Compare that to the global average of 48%, or a country like Singapore, which stands at an impressive 81%. The US is a clear outlier here. And what's crucial to understand is that the primary fear isn't that the government will do too much. It's the opposite. The biggest concern, shared by 41% of Americans, is that federal regulation won't go far enough to protect them. But despite all these concerns and the very real anxiety, the global picture is actually a bit more complicated. It isn't just a simple story of people rejecting AI outright. What's fascinating is that we're seeing two contradictory trends rising at the same time. The belief that AI's benefits outweigh its drawbacks is actually growing, yet so is the percentage of people who say AI makes them nervous. It seems the public is trying to hold both of these ideas at once, recognizing the potential while also feeling the risk. So, all of this leaves us with a critical question, and it's one for every professional working in the space. Given this deep disconnect in what people fear, what they hope for, and who they trust, how do we begin to bridge this gap between the architects of AI and the public they're building it for? Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee or hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. And please be sure to subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel and like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.